I've heard there's a place untouched by all this crap.
You mean back east?
Yeah, you heard the same thing?
Out west we hear back east we hear out west. It's all a bunch of nonsense. You know, you're like a penguin on the North Pole who hears the South Pole is really nice this time of year.
There are no penguins on the North Pole.
You want to feel how hard I can punch?
Welcome to MRA, Movie Raiders Anonymous.
I'm remorseless and I'm a watchaholic.
And I'm Double D, and I'm also a watchaholic.
A watchaholic is a person who can't get enough movie watching.
Each week we get together to talk about our addiction.
Movies.
Good, bad, we rate them all on a pace.
I see what you did there. Tell them what pace is.
Pace is our movie rating scale. Plot, acting, characters, entertainment. We rate the movie individually, average them out, and then give you a show score of 1 to 5 reels. It's up to you to check it out and let us know what you think.
This week's movie is Zombieland.
So tell us a little bit about Zombieland.
This was actually one of my picks. I love this movie. It was released October 2nd of 2009. It's a pretty short movie, 88 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
Yeah, the budget was actually pretty small, 23.6 mil. But is that a small budget for a movie?
How much was it?
23.6 mil?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it like a big blockbuster costs like hundreds of millions.
Oh, okay. But believe it or not, the box office now, it hit 102.4 mil. That's crazy.
That is. That's quite the profit margin there.
I wrote a quick synopsis of it. Zombieland is a dark comedy film. It is directed by Ruben. I'm going to slaughter his name. Fleischer. Ruben Fleischer. It was in fact his first film.
Which is pretty impressive, I have to say.
I agree. Also, he's a director of another notable movie from last year. It's Venom, the new one that just came out.
Yeah.
That's not a bad movie.
With Tom Hardy?
Yeah. Talk about your home runs, right?
Yeah, really.
It was also written by two writers, Rhett Reese and Paul Warnick. Now, these two writers, they did a bunch of movies together. A few notable ones would be G.I. Joe, Deadpool, and Deadpool 2. So, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, those guys work together, and they seem to create some hits there.
And the Zombieland sequel is coming out soon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Coming out this year, right?
Yeah, Double Tap. That's what it's called.
Nice.
It stars Jesse Eisenberg, who's from Social Network and Lex Luthor and Now You See Me. Woody Harrelson, a crap load of 90s movies, but he's more notable for the Hunger Games nowadays and Now You See Me as well. And he's Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2 with Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg,
so
yeah.
That chemistry, they really I think it originated from this movie.
Yeah, they do have good chemistry. I like that the duo.
Emma Stone, she's actually a really good actress too. I first seen her. I'm not sure if Easy A is her first movie, but I first seen her on Easy A. Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man though, the one I like with Andrew Garfield, the one you don't like.
Right. But she did well, you know what? I liked Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen Stacy too.
Yeah, she was Gwen Stacy on the Tobey Maguire one.
Yeah,
Those
they were both
horrible.
good.
We'll have to get through those. We'll have to rate
one
those.
movie at a time.
Yeah, one movie at a time. I don't want to overdose. But she was also on Superbad, and the latest one was La La Land. Well, one of her latest ones, and that got a Golden Globe, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
This one was really surprising. Abigail Breslin. Okay, Abigail Breslin. What surprised me is she was Bo from Signs, the one that with the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, you told me that, and I did not remember her from that.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't either, and then like it dawned on me. I was like, she kept leaving cups of water everywhere. She was just wasting water. She was on Rango, the lizard movie, and Raising Helen. Those are another two that I seen. My kids love Rango, so the plot. I wrote a quick plot too. It's a ragtag group of four that are surviving the zombie apocalypse by any means necessary. Columbus, who is Jesse Eisenberg, is narrating the movie with his sarcasm and dry humor, which I think gives the movie a entertaining lead and a type of narration from the mind of a paranoid college kid who is a survivor, basically, and he's basically an introverted shut-in. He survives on a list of rules, 32 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it was 31, but then he ended up making 32 in the movie, which was cool. But it's like a run-on gag. They pop up every once in a while. Like when he does something on his list, it pops up, like double tap.
Very nice graphics that come up. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that aspect of the movie.
Yeah. Well, his first encounter, like he encounters the girl next door, who incidentally was Amber Heard.
Amber Heard, yes.
He encounters her, and she's running from a zombie, but they don't know that they're zombies yet. She's like, yeah, well, the guy tried to bite me, and he's like, wow, there's a girl in my apartment. I'm just going to listen to everything you say.
She said it was some homeless dude was tried to take a bite.
Yeah, he tried to bite me. It's like, you're right. That is the worst part.
That is the worst part.
It was just watching her mouth move, I'm telling you. But yeah, he ends up having to kill her, and that was one of many kills in his first experience fighting for survival in Zombieland. But he does end up hitting the road, and he runs into Tallahassee, who is Woody Harrelson, and I mean, he has his own trials and tribulations throughout the movie. One of the biggest ones it explains it in the movie, so I don't really want to. I mean,
we'll get to that. That was one of my favorite parts.
Oh, okay, cool. They make a deal to travel together, like just on a hitchhiking signal. Like, that was funny because he picked up the bike and hid behind the bike, like I was gonna do something.
And then after a standoff, Jesse Eisenberg slowly holds out his hitchhiker stub. And he's like, eh?
He's like, yeah, come on in. And then that relationship is insane. I love it, honestly. But so they travel, and they actually they were only going to travel but so far, right? Arkansas
is how he said it, but yeah.
But and
he was like, I don't see this lasting any farther than Arkansas. He goes, I'll take it.
He was like, yeah, that's fine. And then they end up running into two sisters, who's played by Emma Stone. She's Wichita in the movie, and Little Rock, who is Abigail in the movie. Abigail, what is her last name again?
Breslin.
Abigail Breslin, who are like con artists and hustlers to the core. They were already going across country, like conning people and getting money and surviving that way. And then they run into Tallahassee and Columbus, and they con them actually twice. They get them twice. And for some reason they end up staying together. I guess they realize that they may be the only four humans left in Zombieland. Which
actually,
honestly,
3 times, actually. Didn't they leave again whenever they were at the house, and then they left in the yellow?
Yeah, my gosh, that was ridiculous. But yeah, so I mean, other than that, the movie is based on humor. And the funny thing is, there's one guest star appearance that I've seen, and it was Bill Murray. And my personal opinion, and I'm not a Murray fan.
Yeah.
But my personal opinion, I think he had the funniest part of the movie.
I like him. I love that that part with him.
Where they're like, do you have any regrets? And he's like, Garfield, maybe. Like, that was so funny. Like, and nobody else caught that until I said something. I was like, that was like one of the best if not the best line in the movie to me.
I also thought it was great that he was reenacting Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Emma Stone.
It's just like, help me.
Don't cross the stream.
I got you, Ray. It was hilarious. But there is something. I mean, it is a typical zombie movie. So I think this plot is a little bit better, mainly because of with Jesse Eisenberg narrating and his rules and stuff. So it brought something new other than like, and I'm not disrespecting these movies because I think they're good as well. But Dawn of the Dead, and 28 Days Later and stuff like that. Because I think if I'm not mistaken, they came out like a year or two before this one came out. We'll check whenever we end up reviewing those. But yeah, they came out like a year or two before, if I'm not mistaken. And they were just your quintessential, these dudes are trying to eat us, let's run type of movies. So I think this one actually really put a flip on it, kind of like Shaun of the Dead did.
Yeah, exactly. It was, like I said before, the zombies are almost incidental. It's because you were saying about the backstory behind the virus and everything.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that they kind of just grazed over the backstory instead of giving a flashback. They gave a flashback of the Amber Heard scene for Jesse because he's a star.
Yeah.
But they really didn't have a zoom in on the flashback of it. He was just like, you heard of mad cow disease? Well, mad cow became mad people, which gave you a migraine, basically killed you, and gave you a very serious case of the munchies.
Yeah, I liked it as well because the focus of the flashbacks wasn't how it started, like you were saying.
Exactly.
It was to the focus on the characters and character building, and then it just happened that was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's a great thing because I think people do pay too much attention to flashbacks. I know people really want backstories, but in a movie like this is. It's a I call it a semi quintessential zombie movie, mainly because the plot is different. But I mean, their zombies are still zombies, and I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like a vampire movie. They're still going to eat you. Mm-hmm. People are still dying. You're still killing zombies. So it's you're going to watch it, and it's a zombie movie, but it's one of the really I think it's one of the better ones.
It's almost a fusion of like it could be like a cross country trip.
I thought you were going to say cross streams. Don't cross streams, Ray.
Yeah, don't cross the streams. But it's like a fusion of like a buddy movie or a group of characters,
like a road trip type of movie.
Road trip. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Road trip combined with a zombie movie.
That's exactly what it is too. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I couldn't have said it better myself. Seriously, I literally couldn't. But we do have a rating system. We rate on pace. We said it at the beginning. You want to go over it one more time?
The pace system grades on 4 different categories. We have P for plot, A for acting, C for characters, and E for entertainment values, and how much were you entertained overall.
What we do is we have our individual ratings, and with our individual ratings, we kind of meet in the middle, and then we come up with a show rating. So, Double D, what did you get for?
Before we get to that, I wrote a list of pros and cons.
Oh yeah, that is right. Go ahead.
So these are things that I liked about the movie. And before we started, I'm not a big zombie movie guy, so I'm not as well versed in this genre as you, Remorseless.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. Prejudices aside, I watched the movie.
Prejudices aside.
And I liked it. I did like it. So here's a list of some of the things that I liked. Start off, I thought it was funny, entertaining, good acting, witty dialogue. I liked the interaction between the characters. In fact, one of my favorite scenes was when the 4 of them were riding across the country, and it was just doing like quick,
and they were like arguing, and it was flipping back and forth.
And they were taking turns driving.
Yeah,
I loved it whenever Little Rock, the 12-year-old girl, was driving, and Emma Stone said, "Now you don't want to go above 70," and Jesse Eisenberg was like, "I don't think you want to go above 20. You're 12."
Speaking of that, one of the funny parts is, did you notice that he broke one of his rules? One of his rules were seatbelts. Remember at the beginning of the movie, he said seatbelts, and then he took the seatbelt off for Emma Stone.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, man, them women will get you killed. I'm telling you.
So, and then also in that Little Rock was telling, I think it was Tallahassee, about Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, she's only Hannah Montana when she wears the wig and she's on stage or something. Whatever it was, I really like that because it was such natural conversation.
It kind of makes you want to know, like, the conversation before that, get to Hannah Montana.
I love the snippets because it's like you're zooming in, and it seemed like that wasn't scripted. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of that was improv.
Jesse was talking about like his beard and stuff. Like, he was trying so hard to impress her. Another thing is, the relationship developed. Throughout especially when they got to Bill Murray's house, the relationship really developed, and he showed Little Rock how to shoot.
Yeah, which is something else I have on.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Too. So
I'm jumping on your list, and now I don't even see it. It's just
I like the mix of the comedy and the seriousness, like you mentioned before about Tallahassee's the son.
Oh, yeah, what he was running from, about Buck, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. I thought it was really well done because you think you're expecting comedy going into it, and even at this point in the movie, it's about halfway through the movie when they give the reveal.
Well, another good thing about that is, like, that was a serious part, but it was kind of like a serious part donut or Swiss roll, because what happened was Tallahassee said something about him, and he was like, "Yeah, well, it's his dog." And then he was like, "My laugh," and then it finally dawned on Columbus, and he was like, "Laugh, personality. Holy crap! I have the best cardio in the game," and I'm embarrassed to realize that he didn't. That he's running from somebody too, and then it gave a quick flashback, which we were talking about before, which wasn't overdoing it. It showed why he hated zombies, because throughout the movie, he had like this unkempt aggression, like, towards zombies that was like, I mean, people like killing zombies, but he really,
he
as a matter of fact, what did Columbus say? He said he sets the standard for killing zombies.
And they, what was it, Kill of the Week?
Zombie Kill of the Week.
Zombie Kill of the Week, which I like that. So at this point, I like too, because the first flashback they showed when they were talking about Buck. Buck is the name of Tallahassee's son.
Yeah.
When they first mentioned Buck and they show a flashback, they show Tallahassee with a dog. And so that's what you think. Why would you think otherwise? And then later on in the movie,
he's replaced with
they show the same
boy.
exact scenes replaced with a boy.
And what I meant by like a donut, or basically a comedy sandwich, is after that he's like crying and everybody and he's consoling him, and then he wipes his eyes with $100 bills and says, "I haven't cried that hard since the Titanic."
Yeah, so that's good. I think whenever you can seamlessly blend laughing and tearing up drama like that.
And they've done it so many times too in that movie, especially like when they were about to leave, and he was like, I bet you that's in your note too, where he was like, "I'm not real good at goodbyes, but that'll do, pig." Yeah. And he was like, "That was the worst goodbye I've ever heard."
And you stole it from a movie. Yeah. Okay, so next, going down my list of things that I like, Emma Stone.
Who doesn't?
I know. So no need to say any more about that. Good score. One good scoring, in particular at the end when they're at the amusement park and Tallahassee's stuck in the booth. Everybody's killing zombies, and Tallahassee kind of creates a diversion.
Goes crazy, like,
and just the scoring. I love that. I listen to film score all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
And this really impressed me. I wasn't expecting that in this movie, but it was actually really good scoring.
Yeah, like, and me, I'm a soundtrack fan, and the soundtrack, I'm like, you were talking about the score, but I'm like the soundtrack, like, with the songs and stuff, they were good. All of them were good as well. So it was kind of crazy to me how they did mesh that together, because you generally, zombie movies, it's just action, it's just gore, it's just blood and different things like that. But to put some thought into it, these writers, you can tell that they really wanted this, and than the director for it to be his first movie. Talk about a home run, man.
Yeah.
I keep saying that because
it was good.
You hit it out the park with this.
And as far as the writing, it was good. I liked the flow and good use of Chekhov's gun, which you mentioned earlier. Literally in this movie, if you don't know, Chekhov's gun is where you mention something in the first act. If you mention a gun hanging on the wall in the first act of a story, that gun has to go off by the end of Act 3. Otherwise, don't put it in the play.
I agree.
So, and I thought that was very good use in two places in particular when Tallahassee was teaching Little Rock to shoot in Bill Murray's house.
Yeah, and then she used it.
She used that skill to save them. And then also the second example is Columbus's fear of clowns. So at the beginning of the movie,
it shows the clown in the bathroom, and then he's like, "Look at this effing clown."
So and then
that was a scary clown too.
That was
like,
a creepy
that clown was scary.
So then, whenever he makes that change, and he's from "Don't be a hero" to "hero," and that's like, of course, it had to be a clown.
That can be a part of Chekhov's gun as well. Like
exactly.
If anything, that would be like Chekhov's automatic, because it just like the run-on joke with the rules was just there and there and there, and it just kept coming back up. And that's one of the things I like the most about it.
Yeah, because you could start to think like, okay, I get it. You don't have to mention every time you mention a rule, but it was for a reason because of the change and the build-up.
And it also showed consequence, too, like when Tallahassee was tearing apart the van, and then he jumped off of it, and he's like, oh, my back. And on top of the van, it said limber up, and it fell off. Yeah. Like, it was crazy. It's like little things like that makes me like a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always about, now, make no mistake of it, a fantastic plot is a fantastic plot. A good movie is a good movie. But just like Zombieland rule number 32, you got to enjoy the little things.
The little things, yeah. Well, now on to
that was a freestyle too. I didn't set that up. I swear I did.
Okay, well, on to some little things that I did not enjoy.
Yeah, let's hear them.
So the cons. I thought in my opinion, the editing could have been better in some places, not the whole movie, and it wasn't enough to make me not like the movie.
Yeah.
It was just a few scenes. There was some inconsistency I noticed between shots and camera angles and some bad transitions. In my mind, it just took me, like, if I can notice it, it wasn't done well.
Okay.
And then the superfluous amount of quick shots, just in that one scene with 406. It's like they're sitting on the couch having a conversation, and there's like, I wanted to count how many camera shots.
The funny thing is, when you said that, I watched that scene again, and I didn't. You know what it's like? It's like having a spoiler. Like you like something, and then somebody says something about it, and you can't do anything but notice it.
Yeah.
That's what so you kind of ruined that scene for me.
Well,
I mean, it really had Amber Heard in it, so you couldn't ruin it that much. But
yeah, I feel bad about that part. But
yeah, you probably you don't. Tell the truth. You're laughing about it. You can't feel bad if you're laughing.
And then also some of the audio in some scenes. Now I listened in my headphones. And now I'm just getting nitpicky, but I mean, these are, you got it. Like we said, this is the good and the bad, man.
Yeah, exactly.
The audio. And then the last thing, as far as editing, the CGI car rides. Like, I get it. That's how you film a car ride with the CGI background out the windows, but it was just too.
So you noticed the CGI?
Yeah.
Really?
I did, yeah.
I thought it was done pretty smooth. I mean, it was obviously CGI, but I thought it was done pretty smooth for the most part. It was cohesive enough to still keep the movie flowing.
They were in the car a lot in the movie. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So especially for you, because Double D's a stickler. He'll be the first to admit it. Especially for you to still enjoy the movie and they're in the car a lot. So you can tell that it wasn't just bad because you'd have called out. You'd have been like, yeah, I'm cutting this. I'm turning this off.
So in the last thing, and the biggest sin, in my opinion, for writing, story to me is probably above all. The biggest sin for me was in the end of the third act, Jesse Eisenberg's decision to go from a passive protagonist to an active one going into the third act happens off camera. We don't even get to see that change. It's a very pivotal moment that you want your protagonist and your hero of the story. You want to see him make that change, go through that. That's kind of the build up that you're waiting to see. He's been how would you describe him throughout most of the movie?
A coward.
A coward.
Yeah. But, like, okay, so what I have to say about that is you don't think that he made that change, like, so with him, when him and Emma Stone were in the room, they were about to do whatever they had to do, and then it was interrupted. That kind of gave him the fire. So I think that fire was the change to me. That's what I seen. That's what made him want to do it, because he's been talking the whole movie about finding. He always wanted a girl. Somebody's in danger of getting their hair swept behind their ear. Yeah. So I think since he finally found one, I think that was like,
yeah. But that's even after that scene. She leaves. They show her leaving, and he's heartbroken and upset and sad and depressed. And then they show a scene where he's talking to Tallahassee. Tallahassee saying, "I'm going to Mexico" or whatever, and he has a surfboard. And you see Jesse Eisenberg.
You know what you call Twinkies in Mexico? Los Submarinos. That's where I'm going, brother.
and then there's Columbus, just all depressed and packing up, and he's like. He's heartbroken, is what he is. You see him. And then it cuts to Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin doing their thing. And then the next shot that we see them is literally a jump cut to Columbus standing in front of Tallahassee, literally saying, I'm going after Wichita.
I'm going after Wichita.
That's the first thing.
I get exactly what you mean.
So, again, with the editing, and it's like, okay, the last time we saw you, you were depressed and packing. Where did you make that decision of, no, you know what? I'm going after, and it didn't even explain, like, they might be in trouble.
Yeah, I definitely get what you mean now. So yeah, I can see exactly where you're coming from on that, because they were just talking. He was like, you weren't exactly storming the trenches when I came there.
Yeah,
and then like they're going back and forth, and then they're on the bike, and that's when he said that'll do, pig, and he's like, well, what did he say? Their faces was in somebody's wallet too.
Yeah,
and that changed Woody Harrelson's mind.
Yeah, so you see, that's the difference there. We get to see that moment.
Woody Harrelson's change, and you don't really see Jesse's change. You just kind of assume it.
Yeah, it's heavily implied. That just, I think, one more scene. Maybe they shot it and it was edited out. I don't know, but I just think a little buffer scene in between those two scenes could have helped the flow of, especially like I said, that's a really pivotal moment.
Yeah, definitely. I get what you mean.
But that's it. That's it for my pros and cons. Let's move on to ratings.
All right. So we rate on the pace. So what did you give it for plot?
For plot, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay, that's not bad. I gave it a 3 out of 5 as well.
Nice.
Acting,
I gave a 3 out of 5 as well.
Oh, really? I gave it a 5. I really like the actors. I really like the actors. I really didn't see a lot of stumbling. They were all smooth. The chemistry was there. It was the acting was entertaining as well. The acting was entertaining.
It was good. Yes.
Yeah. Characters.
I gave a 3.
I gave a 4 for characters. I liked them.
Yeah, like we were saying, we've been saying this whole time. They were fleshed out, and the come to think, they did give a background for Abigail Breslin, but it was just a joint one with Emma Stone, right?
Yeah, well, they were together throughout the whole movie, so I didn't expect them to get like individual ones. They're sisters.
Yeah, but the point is the scenes were used effectively to build their characters.
Exactly,
and that's all you needed.
The only reason why I gave it a 4 instead of a 5 is because it's a zombie movie. And that's kind of moving the goalpost, because it's a zombie movie.
Like you're not expecting
I can't really explain it more than it's a zombie movie.
Yeah, you're not expecting like a big tearjerker.
Yeah, I'm not expecting 7.
Yeah.
And entertainment?
Entertainment, despite going into it, I didn't think I would be. I was entertained. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 5.
Nice. Okay. So averaging that out, what's that give us?
That gives us the rating of 15 out of 20, which is 3 reels.
Nice.
For a zombie movie, 3 reels isn't bad.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
For overall, yeah, I think that's a very fair rating, I think.
So there you go, the show rating of 3 reels. All right, guys, so that's the show.
Check it out for yourself and let us know what you think.
Email us at empnetwork412@gmail.com and be sure to be back here next week for another meeting.
And until then, take it one movie at a time.
Peace. Ready?
Yep. I've heard there's a place untouched by all this crap.
You mean back east?
Yeah. You heard the same thing?
Out west we hear back east we hear out west. It's all just nonsense. You know, you're like a penguin on the North Pole. You hear the South Pole is really nice this time of year.
There are no penguins on the North Pole.
We almost got through it. All right, just imagine the other movies, though.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun though.
Hell yeah!
This might be. I think this is gonna be my favorite part here.
Holding this in is actually really hurting my throat. Pause. All right. I'm sorry.
I lost my place. All
right, go ahead.
Welcome to MRA Movie Raiders Anonymous.
I'm Remorseless, and I'm a watchaholic.
And I'm Double D, and I'm a watchaholic.
Why'd you?
What? Why'd I do this?
You like shortened your voice and like hit your chest.
I don't know.
All right.
Like, hey, it's me.
How's it going? All right, we gotta stop. This week we are rating.
Going from that scripted to live.
That was it.
Thanks for coming in the studio just for that drop.
Right. EMP Network.
299,792,458 laughs per second.